Hello and welcome to another episode of Culture Vultures, your pop culture podcast in which we talk bollocks about films, TVs, music and a load of other old cobblers.
What a load of shit.
As always, you have myself, Kev K-Dog, Kev Meister General, and my good buddy, partner in crime, the strawberry punk rocker anarchist, Dino El Dino.
All right.
Hello. All right. How you doing,
All
sir?
right.
How you diddling? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, Budley Wuddly Woo. Yeah, I'm not having a bad week. I mean, well, we're only on Monday, aren't we? The listeners won't know that we're on Monday. Still in the fucking lockdown.
Put a fucking mask on.
I watched the new Line of Duty last night. That was good. Can't beat.
I don't watch it.
Well, no, you don't watch terrestrial TV. Why would you?
No, I don't. I don't even have an aerial, mate. I haven't got an opportunity for it. So, don't bother with all that.
We haven't even got a hot. We haven't even got a hot tap.
don't need it, mate. Cold showers every morning.
Oh.
Lovely.
Now, what shall we talk about?
What we've got for you is an absolute fucking classic movie. Straight out of 1987, one of the best years of cinema. We have got for you the ultimate, the all-time best romantic
Chic Flick.
What have we got, Dino?
Fucking Dirty Dancing, mate. The Swayze Meister General. Old Billy Big Legs.
Oh, the strutter. That man has got a strut unlike, well, he had a strut unlike anyone else. What a film. I've got to say, watching it again, it's a film that just gets better and better. Absolute dynamite. Everything about it. The strut, the dancing, the music. The music's awesome in it. And I'm sure we got some interesting things to cover in this episode. So, Dirty Dancing, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is, as you say, Chic Flick. It's a romantic film in which a young female, Frances Houseman, or Baby, ends up going to this. It's almost like a kind of like a middle class like resort, isn't it? Back in when is it? Like the 60s or something?
I think it's in the 60s. But what it reminded me more of is Heidi High, the old with old Ted and Peggy.
That's it. Yeah. And
A bit like Butlins, but for posh cunts.
Yeah, just a little bit more retro. And she goes there, doesn't she, with her family, her mum and dad and her sister, and they're there for a week, if I remember right. And during that time, she meets Patrick Swayze's character, Johnny Castle, who is the camp's dance instructor, and she falls in love with him.
And he grooms the shit out of her, basically.
Get your fat ass back here.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about this film?
The thing is, this is what I always say is a guilty pleasure, that it's a bit wanky to say that it's a guilty pleasure. You should just man up and say, yeah, I like it. I do like the film. I have seen it a number of times, obviously, because most of the women I've been with have liked it. My sister likes it. My mum likes it. Yeah, I've seen it a number of times, and I do actually like it. It's a nice film. I don't know. You said it's a romantic film. It is, but you've got the main character, Jennifer Grey, Baby, and she says at the beginning she's 16. She's sweet 16. She meets up with Swayze, and he looks about 35, mate. So it basically is this dancer who's grooming her into bed, basically.
How old is he supposed to be in it? Because they don't actually allude to that, do they? Or did I just miss that?
I've got no fucking idea.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about, Phil. Not a fucking clue.
He definitely looks somewhat older. Although when I was reading up on it, I think at the time she was about 27. When she, 27-year-old playing a 16-year-old being groomed by a geezer who looks 35, but probably was like, maybe he was 35, I don't know, 20, yeah.
Sorry, 27, yeah. Well, the thing is, right, in most films like that, they have older actresses playing these parts, but obviously they look younger, because clearly you couldn't have an actual 16-year-old hopping into bed with the Swayze Meister.
Not with him wearing his girdle.
Yeah,
That's honestly straight up. That's a little factoroonie. I know it's a little bit early, but
yeah.
I was reading about it, and supposedly they got him to wear a girdle in some scenes to make him look thinner and younger. So maybe he was like a 35. I don't know.
Really? So what? He was. Oh, what? So they had to get him because he had a bit of a beer gut on him, I suppose.
Yeah, but I don't understand it really because he's when you look at him when he's got the old scenes with the shirts off, he's quite a toned lad, isn't he? But
Yeah, he is.
yeah, supposedly, I think in any other time he was in need of a girdle like that. Bit of lethal weapon, isn't it? You're wearing a girdle.
Cool. I bet you were really paying attention to the bits when he had his shirt off as well, though, isn't it?
Jeez, look at the butt on that. Yeah. He must work out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, yeah. Amazing pecs,
Ooh.
incredible triceps, sweating nipples.
Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live sketch with it's Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley, and they're doing an audition to be Chippendales? Because
No.
it's one of the funniest sketches that I've seen, and they are really funny, and Swayze's really funny in it.
I'll have to check that out. Actually, I'm gonna search it now just so it's just so it's there. Chris Farley and Swayze. See that? There we go. Right, that's ready to go later. just even a picture of it. Chris Farley loving it. Oh yeah.
Well, I think Swayze was about 35 when they filmed this.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he did look about that age, wasn't he?
Because he was born in 1952, and that was 87.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
Yeah,
what,
he would be, yeah.
35.
Yeah.
And then let's have a look and see how Jennifer Grey holds that. 2 seconds. Oh shit! I've gone on porn now by mistake.
Stop playing with yourself, Hooper.
She was 27. He was 35. But yeah, the thing is, what I'd say, she's supposed to be 16. He does look like a bloke in his 30s, but he can dance.
Too right, he can. I mean, again, like some of it I was watching, I was thinking, bloody hell, look at, like, how do they move like that? That geezer doesn't stop. He's like the Duracell bunny. You wind him up and off he goes.
Everybody on? Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus.
The one character that really stuck out for me was this weaselly little git called Neil Kellerman.
Yeah.
And he's just desperate to like get into baby's pants, isn't he? He's almost like Pepe Le Pew in a sense, but he's just not smooth. He don't fucking leave her alone, does he? Any sort of given opportunity, he's there sniffing around it. I mean, she's even telling him to do one in a very sort of polite and respectful manner, but he ain't having any of it, is he?
No.
And he's like, what does he say at one point? He takes her down to the river or something to go for a walk, and he says something like, I've been told that I'm a big deal around here, and you think, oh, fuck off! Like, how has she not just booted him into the river and drowned him? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
well, what he reminds me of is, I think it's a character in The Simpsons called Archie, which is supposed to have been Marge's ex-boyfriend. This little Jewish git with glasses and all that, very much like him. Obviously, she bins him off and ends up with Homer, the real hero.
the real hero, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But this guy's he's just relentless. He just doesn't get the hint, does he? But yeah, he's just got that kind of like arrogance about him as well. But every time he sort of came on, I just sat there going, oh, fuck off, mate. Just go away. Go away. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. She don't want to know. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
And she sort of just entertains it. Yeah. And then she's like, no, I want that geezer over there dressed like Johnny Cash.
with the Moulin Rouge.
You just put your pickle on everybody's plate, college boy, and leave the hard stuff to me.
Baby's dad, he fucking really looks like Richard Nixon, doesn't he? To me. Really?
He does a bit, doesn't he? He looks a little. I tell you what, he looks like Patrick Swayze in a film, which is a future episode of one of our podcast episodes.
Yeah, well,
doesn't he?
Well, no, he's
dressed up as him.
Well, it's not Swayze who's Nixon.
Is it not?
It's one of the other geezers. But yeah, that's what he looks like. He looks like He looks like Richard Nixon or a really old version of Jim from The Office. But I don't get why when Oliver Stone did Nixon the film, they used Anthony Hopkins when they could have just used him and not used any makeup or anything.
Maybe he wanted to challenge himself. Maybe he thought, I'm definitely going to convince the world that this guy's going to pull it off.
Yeah, get me someone to play Nixon and not that cunt from Dirty Dancing.
No,
I know.
I want you to get me that Welshman who's a serial killer.
Yeah, he's good. He can eat fava beans and go.
So I hope you will enjoy this last piece very much.
I tell you, the other character right in this is the boyfriend of Baby's sister. I think his name Robbie in it.
Oh well, he's trying to have a crack at her, isn't he? Yeah.
This is my theory on this. Right, is when they wanted to audition people to play this part, I reckon they just said, "Get me a smug, overconfident cunt with a punchable face,"
and then he walked through the door.
Up with him because that's what he is.
And don't he play it well as well? They must have sort of like just seen him coming, right? Okay, next. He just turns up and he's like, "What?" Yeah. He looks like a bit of a cock, doesn't he? Yeah.
Geezer.
Yeah, you'll do. Yeah.
But then he's the one, right? Spoiler alert. He's the one who knocks up Penny, who's Patrick Swayze's normal dance partner. And to be fair, she looks like she's about fucking 40. I'd have thought she'd have a geriatric fanny anyway.
The thing is, she seems... What I don't understand is she seems quite...
I am so fucking horrible, sorry.
she seems quite switched on, though, don't she? Like, why would you... I don't understand why she'd be fraternising with a cock like that.
That is the power of the cunt, mate, because he is such a bellend that he has turned her head. She's dropped her drawers at the drop of a hat. He's fucking shut his beans out there, and then she has to go and have an illegal backstreet abortion.
You don't understand the way it is. I mean, for somebody like me, last month I'm eating jujubes to keep alive. This month, women are stuffing diamonds in my pockets.
That whole scene, though, when she is, when she's had the abortion, and obviously baby goes to get her dad. Does it explain that? Is he a surgeon or is he just a GP? Because I mean, he grabs his bag. Oh yes, I've got just the stuff for stitching up a gone wrong fucking backstreet abortion. Yeah, give me a fanny. Let's get that done.
I don't know, because they don't detail it, do they? He's a doctor, but yeah, he's got all of the gear. And he knows exactly what he's doing. He's got a bottle of plonk in here just to send her off for 40 winks. And,
I thought you said your dad was a doctor. It looks like fucking Richard Nixon. I'm not letting him anywhere near my vagina.
Big old bag of that. The first thing he does is pulls out a bottle and a syringe. So no. Keep him away from me.
Let's have a look at your Watergate.
At any given moment, you might need a minder. But you might not...
Arthur Daly!
Quite right. But
it's a job site.
Another character I find really funny. This is the sister, to Lisa, who's the sister to Baby, and it's when she does her. She's got a thing for Rob, isn't she? And she's sort of saying back that she wants to go all the way with him. She's fallen for him. And then there's that scene where she goes to him and she sort of dolled herself up and she's knocking on the door, but she hasn't really noticed that there's the towel on the handle. And she goes in there and he's getting done by the older bird who Swayze is knocked off. And she's like, "Oh!"
Yeah, the one who looks like the next door neighbour in Birds of a Fucking Feather. Or what's her name?
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
I'm not your average woman. I like sex, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
And then the other moment where she's volunteered, isn't she, to perform at the end of the film, which is at this end of the week show.
End of the show, yeah.
End of the show.
And Deck.
And she's the most tone deaf person who just cannot dance for shit, can she? No. but she's just so oblivious. She's loving every moment of it, and she's sort of like,
oh, I carried the weight. Oh my, and I know succeeded.
But she's the one who's still singing when they turn the music off. She's the only one.
That's it, yeah. Because they're doing the hands, isn't they? Harden, 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 harden. and then Swayze turns up, struts onto the stage, Danny, with baby in hand, and they all go quiet, including Wayne Knight, the geezer from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, after he's done the best line of the movie, isn't it, Kev?
You don't put Bradshaw in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
It always comes back to that strut. He just struts up, straight up. And she's sat there, isn't she, in the corner of her parents, and she's just like, boom, delivers the line, told, I'm going to grab her, pick her up, here we go. I've got my 7-inch vinyl, I've got my jacket on, up onto the stage, everyone stops talking. Like I say, Wayne Knight from Jurassic Park, even he stops. And there's the sisters just still going on. Oh, fucking shut up, love.
I just think that the last scene, right, reminds me of the sort of excitement that is generated in like a Rocky film at the end of a Rocky movie when he's fucking pummeling the shit out of some other geezer, whether it be Mr. T or Apollo Creed or even the big man himself, Lundgren. But yeah, it's that feel good thing when he kind of struts up, doesn't he? He grabs her and then they do the old dance that they've been practicing. And her dad, old Nixon, he gets up to do something. He thinks he's going to start weighing in with a bit of the old fucking getting a bit handy. All right there, Doc, sit back down, you fucking Nixon looking franny. We ain't fucking having any of this. I'll fucking boogie in the night all night long, son.
Mate, you're fat and I'll throw you in the river. Now go away.
Yeah, because you also got the two older birds, aren't you? The two old brasses who've got the old fox skin thing over their shoulder, like the real posh older birds. And then they just sort of chuck it off their shoulders and they're like,
Yeah. But it's kind of like that old fashioned idea of like it's too sexual. That's why it's called Dirty Dance, obviously, because they're actually dancing quite close and that. And then obviously, obviously she does the run and the lift and all that. But it's that I think that's before they do the fucking thing where they're all clicking their fingers, sort of going behind him, a bit like the Thriller video.
Yeah.
Zombies.
No, I definitely know what you mean. That last scene is a real good sort of feel good scene. I bet you were like me, weren't you? Like I was sitting there with the missus watching it, and then at the corner of my eye, I noticed that her feet just started to tap, and the legs started to move. And then I looked down and it's my feet sort of tapping, and you're nodding away. And the next thing you know, you're miming it.
Baby, don't hurt me, no more.
By the end of it, it really ramps it up, and you get really drawn into it, and you get the little Thriller dance, and Nixon's bopping the tune. The old, because you got the two older fellas, didn't you? The guy who runs it, and the other one who's like the music maestro. Yeah. And they're doing their little tap dancing bit whilst everyone's dancing, but somehow they seem to be moving at like a fraction of the speed that everyone else is sort of moving at.
Yeah. But yeah, they're all up and dancing at the end. It's like for instance, it's like one of those old-fashioned things where the kids are all like cool and everything, and he's like pissing them off. Oh, you bloody kids! Oh, and then they're all up and dancing at the end with him, getting their old boogie on.
It's like getting down with the kids, aren't they? Here we go. Lovely, good times.
I'm sorry. I used to be much stronger.
And it's always a good one to watch with your other half, if you got one. I just thought it's like when he jumps off the stage, because I watched the thing. There's like a little documentary about I think it's 4 different films, and Dirty Dancing is one of them, about sort of facts and stuff. But he had done his knee in, Patrick Swayze, quite badly, and that jump that he does off the stage, when he walks up to her, I think he did that about 30 odd times on the old bad knee, and he was in agony.
Double old bastard, though, isn't he? Double old bastard. Yeah.
Not as hard as he is in Roadhouse, though, mate, when he fucking pulls that geezer's throat out.
I'm gonna kill you the old-fashioned way.
Supposedly, he had to convince Jennifer Grey to take on the role because they were both in another classic, Red Dawn, before,
Yeah.
in which she didn't really like him during that film.
No, I don't think they liked each other, actually. I don't think they got on. She was already cast for Dirty Dancing, and when they said that they were looking at Swayze, she was like, "No, don't get Patrick to do it. Don't want him." So
I don't like him.
No.
Well, it all works out on film, doesn't it?
But you can see on the film, you can see that the chemistry isn't always there. They're not very convincing. And you can see even when they're doing the scenes where he's trying to show her dance moves, he's pissed off.
It's just genuine, isn't it?
And I think that's genuine, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a couple of moments when they're embracing,
yeah,
and it's just you can feel that there's almost a reluctance for their lips to touch. And it's just like, oh well, we're getting paid for it anyway, so
just get on with it, Jennifer, and sort your fucking nose out. Oh,
she did, didn't she? And then their career went down the drain, supposedly.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have recognised her.
No.
I mean, I only know her from Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller is the sister.
And Red Dawn. It's the only three films I know her from.
Oh yeah, Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. But yeah.
That could have been a porno, couldn't it?
Doing your hamstrings and just rub your hamstrings and your cheeks, your arse. Up and down, inside and outside. And slowly just drift my hands up and inside. But I'm not touching your pussy.
There's quite a lot of homages. I mean, my favourite homage to Dirty Dancing, this one, is Max and Paddy, when Peter Kay is with Paddy McGuinness, and they're at that they're at like a campsite, and he's trying to teach him how to dance, and they're on the log, aren't they? And then he slips down and smacks his nuts on it, and they keep getting seen when they're dancing together by this other family. They keep dancing right up close to each other, and that. Anyway, I quite like that. But another little fact I would say is on that scene when they are on the log, when he's prancing about, he did actually fall off because he was dicking around and he fell off and twisted his ankle.
He didn't do too well in that film, did he? Did his knee in, did his ankle in.
No, and had to kiss some bird he didn't fancy. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, not particularly great, was it? Interestingly, it was one thing I noticed, read up on, was it was the first film to sell 1 million copies on home video. And we are talking about good old VHS here.
Unbelievable numbers.
When you wanted to buy a videotape like ET or something, if you bought it from the video shop, it'd cost like 70, 80 quid, wouldn't it? So, Christ, I don't like it that much.
I always remember going to the video shop with my old man, and there was a geezer next to us, and he was buying Rambo 3. And it was on VHS, and it was £85, I think he paid for it, and it came in that old, the big massive padded VHS case, and obviously it had been round the tracks. It was knackered, itd been rented out about 100 times. 85
What,
quid.
he paid that? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he bought it. Yeah.
85 quid? I wouldn't even shit on it.
Shit on it! Shit on the bloody thing!
No, I'll tell you what, the first film that did that, where it went from cinema to video, but straight for the public to buy, was Rain Man.
Ah.
That was the first one you could buy it for £10.
Oh, that's a great movie.
But before then, you'd have to wait about 6 or 7 years for it to be released on a home video to buy for about 15 quid, or pay 85 quid for it directly from the old video supplier.
It's mad, isn't it, how times move on? Because I remember one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. It came out about 2 months on. You could buy it on DVD.
Yeah.
2 months after it had been at the cinema. Now it'd been at the cinema for about 6 months.
Yeah.
But still, when it finished, it was only about 2 months, and there it was. You could go and buy it. So mad, isn't it?
But what you got to ask yourself, who would want to fucking buy it? Because that's another film franchise that I fucking cannot stand.
Yeah, it's because it's got your favourite boy in it, though, isn't it?
Fucking Johnny Prick Depp. But not just that, it's boring, isn't it?
Well, I've got to say, I love it. I mean, the first one I think is absolutely brilliant.
God,
this is great banter.
What's your score? What would you rate Dirty Dancing?
I'm going to give it I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a great film, but I could have done without the illegal abortion or the grooming.
Or the grooming. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is like a fine red wine. It gets better with age, and my foot was tapping, and I was singing along, and I think it's a great
movie. It was a good movie, but what I would say is I could have watched that film twice rather than watching Zack Snyder's version of Justice League and still had time for a shit afterwards. Which I probably would have done.
I think it'll be really interesting, like, if one day they release a 4-hour Star Wars movie, and then just sort of see what your thoughts are on that.
We shall double our efforts.
I hope so, Commander, for your sake.
Should we have a game of Tickle Kev's Fancy? Here's your first one, because this tickled my fancy when I saw it.
Right, so we got a greetings card, and it says, Hallmark, you might want to check. You might want to rethink your font. And it says, for a special aunt, but you can't help but think when you first read it, it looks like for a special cunt.
Yeah, it's like Hallmark might want to rethink their fonts.
It does, though. The more you look at it, all you can see is
a crate of vodka and a jacuzzi full of clunge.
Right, here comes your next one. This is fucking weird. I don't know if it's going to tickle your fancy or make you want to puke. Christ.
What is it?
Oh, my God. Anyways, it's a lady that has had too much plastic surgery, but she has got the biggest camel toe that I've ever fucking seen. And above it, the headline is Bagpuss.
I didn't even see that bit. That's the same colours as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh. But it looks like they've dug up Pete Burns and then inflated him up to look like that.
Step on! You die!
As you know, I've been trying to lay off getting too political on this podcast, but I think this one deserves a little journey over on the old Tickle Kev's Fancy.
So while Bojo's getting his COVID vaccine injection, and the nurse speech bubbles says, "Fucking 1% pay rise, is it? Let's see if Trump's bleach theory works."
Quite right too. I'm getting my jab on Friday.
My cock and bollocks stretch from Tower Bridge right up to Westminster.
We may have finished Tickle Kev's Fancy, but this is where I normally go around the internet and see if I can find anything that would to make us chuckle. And I came across this story last week. It was a vicar, and because obviously we're in lockdown and everything, and same as us, we're both in different households and connected via Zoom or what have you. He did his sermon over Zoom, but somehow he accidentally hit the toggle where you can have you can have like a virtual thing go on you. He clipped the Blues Brothers one. So throughout the sermon, every time he put his face in a certain place, it put a black hat and black sunglasses on him. Which I think's fucking class, mate.
Just like Jake and Elwood.
Yeah, we're getting the old band back together. The other thing I saw today, which is a bit.
I'm just picturing it.
You'll probably find it if you Google it later. You can have a look at him. But I mean, fair play to him. I mean, he did the whole sermon with that going on and off. But not bad.
Very nice stay, Mr. Forty.
Another thing I saw today is this young chap. He's from India. He's filmed himself driving in a car still moving. He gets up on the roof and he starts doing press ups.
What a twat!
So he's been arrested for this stunt. because there's this thing at the moment, I think it started in America, where you're driving along and you get out, you're driving, you get out and let your car carry on. I don't know if it's in cruise control or what, but you get out and then you're being filmed walking alongside the car, acting like a bellend. But he got arrested for it because when the police saw it online. And obviously it was but if you watch it, right, you can see that the video's been doctored because you can see someone's hand on the wheel sort of disappear.
Faker.
Yes, it's fucking fake news, baby. Fake news. I know you don't watch terrestrial telly, so you won't have seen any adverts. But there's an advert that's on nearly every day, and it's for an insurance company. And there's a woman phoning up to buy insurance against sort of household insurance. And the woman on the other end of the bird from the insurance company says, "Have you recently been burgled?" And the woman says, "Yes, I'm afraid my husband and I have just returned home to find the place has been burgled." It's like cool as a cucumber, as calm as anything. It's like your first thing to do is phone up an insurance company to get fucking house insurance that should have had before this happened anyway. Don't call the police or anything. Yes, I'm afraid we've been burgled. All our stuff's been stolen, including my husband's collection of antique dildos that he's had from the Victorian and 19th century onward. And also, they've done a massive plop in the middle of my front room. Jesus Christ. Fucking annoys me. Fucking annoys me. Hello, my husband and I have just returned home from being out all...
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
You can drop us an email at podculturevultures@gmail.com. If you fancy getting us on the old bookie of face, you can find us at Podculture Vultures or our little tag name at PodCultureV. And Instagram, Podculture Vultures.
Beautiful, Kev. I just want to put it out there to anyone who happens to be listening. Just a bit of advice, just from me. Just try not to be a cunt every day and everyone will be happy.
Wow, yeah. I think that's a lovely little sentiment there, you know. So let's stop being cunt and let's start being lovely people.
All right, fellas, here's how it works. $1 to look at it, $2 to touch it, $3 to watch me touch it.
That's a nice looking man.
Back the fuck up, Antonio! Madden!
My apologies. $5 to touch it while I touch my toes.
That's enough from me. That's enough from him. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Catch you on the flippity flop. Ta-ta!
Ta-ta! And farewell.
She's taking my heart, but she doesn't know what she's done. Feel the breath to my face, her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe I've anything she needs. She's like the wind